If I have seen further, it is by standing on the shoulders of giants. I do not know what I may appear to the world, but to myself I seem to have been only like a boy playing on the seashore, and diverting myself in now and then finding a smoother pebble or a prettier shell than ordinary, whilst the great ocean of truth lay all undiscovered before me. I can calculate the motion of heavenly bodies, but not the madness of people. Nature is pleased with simplicity. And nature is no dummy. What we know is a drop, what we don't know is an ocean. Tact is the knack of making a point without making an enemy. Gravity explains the motions of the planets, but it cannot explain who sets the planets in motion. Truth is ever to be found in the simplicity, and not in the multiplicity and confusion of things. No great discovery was ever made without a bold guess. If I have ever made any valuable discoveries, it has been due more to patient attention than to any other talent. To myself I am only a child playing on the beach, while vast oceans of truth lie undiscovered before me. Trials are medicines which our gracious and wise physician prescribes because we need them, and he proportions the frequency and weight of them to what the case requires. Let us trust his skill and thank him for his prescription, whence arises all that order and beauty we see in the world. Plato is my friend, Aristotle is my friend, but my greatest friend is truth. To explain all nature is too difficult a task for any one man or even for any one age. 'Tis much better to do a little with certainty, leave the rest for others that come after than to explain all things by conjecture without making sure of anything. Yet one thing secures us whatever betide. The Scriptures assures us that the Lord will provide. Truth is the offspring of silence and meditation. I keep the subject constantly before me and wait till the first dawnings open slowly, by little and little, into a full and clear light. To every action there is always opposed an equal reaction. There are more sure marks of authenticity in the Bible than in any profane history. If others would think as hard as I did, then they would get similar results. We account the Scriptures of God to be the most sublime philosophy. I find more sure marks of authenticity in the Bible than in any profane history whatever. God gave the prophecies, not to gratify men's curiosity by enabling them to foreknow things, but that after they were fulfilled they might be interpreted by the event, and his own providence, not the interpreter's, be thereby manifested to the world. As a blind man has no idea of colors, so have we no idea of the manner by which the all-wise God perceives and understands all things. If I have done great things, it's because I was standing in the closet of smart men taking notes and then publishing their ideas as my own. They who search after the philosopher's stone are, by their own rules, obliged to a strict and religious life. The more time and devotion one spends in the worship of false gods, the less he is able to spend in that of the true one. This most elegant system of the sun, planets, and comets could not have arisen without the design and dominion of an intelligent and powerful being. Nature is exceedingly simple and harmonious with itself. What the space that is empty of bodies is filled with. In the absence of any other proof, the thumb alone would convince me of God's existence. This principle of nature being very remote from the conceptions of philosophers, I forbore to describe it in that book, lest I should be accounted an extravagant freak and so prejudice my readers against all those things which were the main design of the book. For I see not what there is desirable in public esteem, were I able to maintain it. It would perhaps increase my acquaintance, the thing which I chiefly study to decline. The more time and devotion one spends in the worship of false gods, the less he is able to spend in that of the true one. 'Tis much better to do a little with certainty, leave the rest for others that come after, than to explain all things by conjecture without making sure of anything. Resistance is usually ascribed to bodies at rest, and impulse to those in motion, but motion and rest, as commonly conceived, are only relatively distinguished, nor are those bodies always truly at rest, which commonly are taken to be so. For it became him, God, who created them, the atoms, to set them in order. And if he did so, it's unphilosophical to seek for any other origin of the world. This most beautiful system of the sun, planets, and comets could only proceed from the counsel and dominion of an intelligent and powerful being. And if the fixed stars are the centers of other like systems, these, being formed by the likewise counsel, must be all subject to the dominion of one. Philosophy is such an impertinently litigious lady that a man had as good be engaged in lawsuits as have to do with her.